I'm actually trying the video version of my podcast. So here we go. Well, hello. Happy New Year. Hopefully, everyone had a wonderful holiday season, a wonderful entering into 2021. This is our first quiet time in 2021, and I am actually trying the video version of my podcast. So here we go. Welcome to Quiet Time with DNC. Um, I know a lot of people probably didn't believe me when I said this before, but I'm literally in my closet doing my podcast. It's early morning. It is about 7:42. I've been up since 6. This is how I operate with 3 kids, a full-time job, a husband, and lots of stuff to get done. Today's episode is one that is very personal to me, and I hope it sparks conversation for people who are either in a place, looking from a place, um, or who are trying to figure out what their next steps are in their relationship building, in their friendships. Um, Today's topic is about finding strength in relationships through full, honest communities. I will say, as a Black woman who grew up in an all Black family, I had one white aunt, we struggled with dealing with family crises as a community. We dealt with those crises on individual basis or very small family oriented because we didn't want to be judged. We didn't want people in our business. We didn't want opinions. And I'm not necessarily going against that thought process, but I will say, as an adult, I see the value of speaking to, connecting with, and creating a family, which is a family of friends who are there as a support system for you individually and for you and your family. Um, my husband and I are going through something right now, and lots of couples go through many things, many different levels at different points in life. Um, and what I was thinking originally, when it comes to relationships, is everything needs to stay within that relationship. I think they give you that advice too. A lot of people give that advice. Keep you and your husband, your spouse, your significant other, keep your business together. And I agree with that. However, there is a gap in community when it comes to sometimes husbands connecting with other husbands and wives connecting with the right wives. Um, this thing called life is not easy. This thing called mothering is not easy. This thing called being a Black woman professional is not easy. And being in a relationship that serves as the nucleus of our home is not easy, but it can be. And there are things that individuals can do to enhance the happiness, the growth, the exploration that you and your spouse can do together. Um, I won't dive too deep into my personal issues, but one thing that I've come to understand is that when me as a wife understood that I am not in this alone, I understood that I had options. to however I'm feeling. And when I say I'm not alone, I have a very tight knit girlfriend group. Some are in relationships, some are married, and some are single. And I want to share a few lessons that I've learned that I would love to share with other women who are listening to this right now. When they say it takes a village to raise a child, I think they left out it takes a village to raise a child and to ground the mother. What the village provides to you is an understanding that your thoughts are valid, your emotions are valid, but that you are stronger than you will ever know. Some of us are blessed with this innate feeling internally. It's just we know I can do more. I can do this by myself. I don't need anybody. But others, like myself, struggle with continuing to go off of internal energy. I use internal energy when it comes to things like this, my podcast, my books, my professional life, my mothering. But when it comes to being a mate, that's a little bit more difficult for me because my background is that my mother and father were never married. Uh, my father ended up having 5 other kids with 3 other women. I recently found out someone who I thought was my sibling was not my sibling. There were just a lot of secrets. My father was the definition, is the definition because he's still alive. I may not see him a lot or talk to him a lot, but he's still alive. That my father is the definition of a rolling stone. And with rolling stone can come a lot of dirt, or you're either going to find some diamonds. Me and my brothers and sisters, or my brother and sister, are trying to connect right now, reconnect because we grew up. I'm 37, y'all. We're trying to connect now. They older than me. I'm the baby. We're working on connecting now and building a relationship that's not built off of secrets. And what I've learned is that it's not a bad thing to share some of your secrets, not all of them, with those who are close to you, who have invested interest in your happiness, in your self-care, in your growth. So here's what I would like for you to keep in mind when you're deciding what secrets to tell. Keep in mind that no one can walk in your shoes, that every relationship is different, that people's thought processes are going to be different. But when you have a solid village and they know that you are going through something, whether it be a major crisis, minor crisis, or just a pet peeve, they then will be able to not only support you in the validation of yourself and your feelings, but to also not judge you, to not make you feel like your decisions will be judged. That is where I feel like us in the Black community struggle. Unfortunately, I can remember as a young child, I learned early on judgment from the church. I learned that if I wear pants to church, I will be judged. I learned that if I went to the bathroom at the wrong time during service, I would be judged. I learned that if I cried too hard at a funeral, I will be judged. So kind of grow up knowing that our community can judge us. And this is where, thankfully, my family and family have taught me that if you take the time to build a village, you can go to the sermon, you can go to the strip club, you can dress conservative or ratchet and still be loved. You can go through a major crisis in your life that could truly turn a page that you never knew was there, and it be all right. So, as I sit here and give you the nuggets that I have, let me break them down in 3. When you choose a village, ensure that they listen to you as much as you listen to them. That means You can talk without interruption, and you can talk and let them know what it is that you do and don't need from them, and them be okay with it. Sometimes we talk because we need to let it out, and sometimes we talk for guidance. Find you a village that can ask you those type of questions and be aware of you and your needs in the moment. Number 2, make sure that the people you decide to let into your life support your galaxy. They're not working on creating their own. And when I say that is, they're not working to change you into a person you're not ready to change into. I always tell people this. You cannot change anyone. You cannot go into a relationship thinking you can save anyone or they can save you. The only thing that changes is your personal need to change. For those who are forced, fail. For those who are manipulated, fail. Find you stars, air, space, other planets that can orbit with you and you all grow together. Number 3, I would say villages save lives. I'm going to say that one more time. Villages save lives. It is important to be picky about who is in your village because you may need them to save your life one day. Look to those who have a voice, who are not scared to use it, but yet can sit down with you and meditate at the same time. Those who may not enjoy what you enjoy, like getting fit, going to the gym every day, but who ain't scared to walk the block with you, and you vice versa for them. This is very important as you move through life because you will see many people fall off, but you will see many more stay on when they are true and are the village you need to grow and be the better person. I cannot express enough, and I've gone over the time I like to for these, but I cannot express enough the value in taking the time to have the proper village community around you and to have strong communication with that village. Again, you can tell some secrets, but you shouldn't need to tell them all. You can come for advice and not always have to hear what you should do. You can come to give and know that you don't have to receive every time you give and vice versa. In 2020, I feel like community was the biggest thing that Black people missed physically. But we started to create virtual environments where community was established. But let's not get sloppy in those communities. Let's not always make it about the dime. Let's make it about the spirit and the soul. Let's make it about growth and health. Let's make it about support and failures. There is a lot of power in being surrounded with the right people. And I urge you to take 2021 to get your village together because you don't know whose life you may save or they may save for you. I know that one was deep, y'all, wasn't it? That wasn't a lot of jokes, huh? You can't giggle too much to this podcast. Yeah, I know. I started off 2021 on some real shit. You know what I'm saying? But really, I hope you're taking these words. I hope you take a moment to stand back and look around you and see who's really there and who really isn't. So, I'm starting to hear some pitter patter, so I gotta go. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Quiet Time with DNC. Until next time.